I think at a certain point in this book, I got that feeling with the reader. Like, I was writing in a different style for me, really pared down. And I suddenly realized, I'm kind of free now. I know how you're playing with me, and I know how I'm playing with you, and I can say stuff, and I can refer to stuff, and you'll get it, you'll click. And not every book works like that, and most don't, I don't think. So I think I got lucky for a little streak there.
Yeah, it's such a great book. Can we go to the title just for a moment? I think there's this argument circulating maybe since the early 2000s about failure being useful, especially in engineering circles. And could you talk about a mistake as a thing on its own, not with a greater purpose? Can you talk a little bit about failure, maybe even just how mistakes and failure operate in the book?
Yeah, what's really interesting in the work we do, we at the Commission we do work on adverse events, and in hospitals, there's been a long-standing idea that you don't talk about your mistakes. If they go public, that's really bad, and we'll find someone to blame for that. What we're trying to do is change that, so you voluntarily report your mistakes so that people can learn from them. And it seems like to me like it's an incredibly idealistic thing. It's kind of a beautiful thing. But that being said, me personally, I'm kind of obsessed with it. I'm really interested. One of my favourite books is Banville's The Untouchable. It's about a Cambridge spy who gets outed when he's like 70. And there's this great line I wanted to read because I just love it. Public disgrace is a strange thing, fluttery feeling in the region of the diaphragm, and a sort of racing sensation all over, as of the blood like mercury slithering along heavily just under the skin. And he's almost kind of excited by it. But what I was really interested in with this book, what I'm interested in about encountering difficulties in your life, maybe a mistake is one, or maybe it's just bad choices, is the quiet after the event. The thing goes wrong, and just your life just recrystallizes in a new shape. And you suddenly realize as you've been living that new life for a while, oh, the reason I'm living this new life is because of that thing. Maybe. Yeah. Is that an answer?
Oh, God, you're so good at answering. Good at writing, good at answering, great dad, great part. Really can't do any wrong.
No
Good
evidence.
son. Oh, good son. I have a good account. I've just got one more question, and I don't know how to ask it, which is usual for me. You know about the insides of people, and like the book shows a little bit of this idea of the blood and guts and the kind of meat machine under it. Does that affect how you write character? Like we're so often taught about psychology and, consciousness. Does the sort of meat machinery change the way you write a character?
I was thinking about this question, and what it made me think about was the clinicians I work with, surgeons and the doctors. And what amazes me about these people is that not only do they... So there's one particular story. I know an ICU intensivist who intubated a chimpanzee once, just as part of his job. He got asked to by Wellington Zoo. But this is a guy who deals with this... he deals with death every day. Because in intensive care, a major percentage of people are dying. But this guy, I asked him if he could give me some notes on a chapter and make sure I got it right. And he'd been working all day. He was flying to the UK that night. He took about 3 or 4 hours before he got on the plane to go through my chapter and give me notes on every second sentence. So we've got these kind of people, these kind of angelic people. I think about like, how do we come up with angels? Well, maybe we looked around, and I think a lot of them end up in our public healthcare services. So I'm always interested in the way that they're interested in other stuff, like music and literature, on top of their day job. So it's not quite an answer about me, but I think we're very lucky to live with the service that we have.
Definitely. Thank you. I'm going to hand back over to you, everyone.
Thanks.
Thank you, that was fantastic.